Betty Lou Blue had the world's biggest feet. Whackety, thwackety, flappity feet. The other kids laughed when she wappeted by. If those feet were wings, I bet you could fly. If those feet were boats, you could float for a year. But Whackety Flap, she'd pretend not to hear. My beautiful daughter, why are you so sad? Why are those kids so mean and so bad? Why can't I be perfect like Janice or June? Why do I have feet that are big as balloons? Come here, my darling, my dear Betty Lou. Why, everyone's perfect, dear. Yes, even you. There's no one just like you. You're special, you see. And each living thing has a reason to be. So Betty Lou smiled and tried to be strong, but she knew in her heart that her mama was wrong. Then, the first day of winter, it started to snow. Up came the wind, and it started to blow. All morning long, the snow fell and it blew, till the roads were all covered and hidden from view. The principal let kids out early that day. Now all of you go straight home. Don't delay. The snow looks like fun, but you children beware. It's not safe to be out in this weather. Take care. But outside, the kids found a glorious sight. The park was a wonderland, sparkling and white. They all built a snowman and sledded and slid, and some dared the others to do what they did. But none of them noticed the tree by the street had seemingly sprouted 2 very large feet. Betty Lou was behind the tree hiding and watching the building and sledding and sliding. I want so badly to join in and play, but I know they'll just laugh and then shoo me away. Or else Jimmy Jack Jones and his joke of the week will start shouting, Look everyone, it's Footy Lou Freak. So she watched the kids frolic and stayed out of sight and held back a gasp when they started to fight. One little snowball was all that it took. Well, that and a shove and a menacing look. It quickly turned into an all-out attack, with girls hitting boys and boys fighting back. They wrangled and rolled and wrestled until Betty Lou stepped out and yelled, There's a hill! Look out! And they did, but a second too late. The snow started shifting beneath all the weight. They slid and they tumbled and fell in a heap, then couldn't get up 'cause the snow was so deep. Frightened and frozen, they hadn't a clue as to what could be done till they saw Betty Lou. The kids who had teased her now shouted out, Please, help us out of the snow. It's way past our knees. And Betty Lou stood there and studied the scene while she thought about those who had fun being mean. Name-callers, bullies, that boy Jimmy Jack. Now here was her chance to pay them all back. And all it would take was her walking away, though Betty Lou knew what her mother would say. Dear, everything's ugly that's done out of spite, but you can be beautiful doing what's right. 'Cause what makes you special, what sets you apart, is not on the outside. It's there in your heart. She looked the crowd over and stopped eye to eye with Jimmy Jack Jones, who started to cry. And a thought came to her that was ever so grim. Why, if I walk away, I'm as ugly as him. So she made herself smile and she lifted her chin. Hey, come on, guys, it's time to go in. She knew what to do. It was really a cinch. On top of the snow without sinking an inch. She stood each kid up on the world's biggest feet and walked each one out to the newly plowed street. When the last of the children were all safe and sound, they came up to Betty and circled around. They shouted and cheered, many nyawahs were said, and they promised to all be much nicer instead. And the best part of all was when Jimmy Jack Jones offered to walk Betty Lou to her home. And as they stood at the front of her house, he apologized greatly for being a louse. "Please be my friend," is all he could say, and she nodded and watched Jimmy Jack walk away. She burst in the house where her mom was in sight and shouted, "Mama, guess what? You were so right. Everything's ugly that's done out of spite, but you can be beautiful doing what's right. 'Cause what makes you special, what sets you apart, is not on the outside. It's there in your heart."